In the year 1923, the United States Supreme Court heard the case of Mayer versus Nebraska. This case challenged a Nebraska law that prohibited the teaching of foreign languages to children before they reached the eighth grade. The law was enacted after World War I during a time of heightened nationalism, but it raised important questions about individual liberties under the 14th Amendment.
We are here to hear arguments in the case of Mayer versus Nebraska. The petitioner, Robert Mayer, was convicted of teaching German to a student in violation of Nebraska law. Mr. Mayer, you may present your case.
Your Honor, I was merely instructing a 10-year-old child in the German language at the parochial school. The Nebraska statute unjustly criminalizes my profession and my students' rights to learn. The law violates the 14th Amendment Due Process Clause, which protects liberties such as teaching and learning. The state has no right to impose such restrictions on education without just cause. This law not only punishes educators but also infringes upon the rights of parents to decide what is best for their children's education.
The state argues that the law was enacted to promote national unity and ensure that children learn English fluently. Representative of Nebraska, how do you respond?
Your Honor, the law serves a vital public interest. In the aftermath of the Great War, it is necessary for all citizens to assimilate into American culture. Language is a powerful tool for unity, and allowing young children to learn foreign languages before they have mastered English could hinder national cohesion. We must ensure that all children are proficient in English before they are exposed to other languages. If students are taught in foreign language too early, they may struggle to fully integrate into American society. Furthermore, this law does not intend to infringe upon individual liberties, but rather promote the welfare of the state and the future of our children. A common language unites people, and we must take steps to prevent the divisions that could arise from linguistic and cultural differences.
But does the Constitution permit the state to restrict such educational freedoms? The 14th Amendment guarantees certain liberties. Does this law infringe upon them? Mr. Mayer, what fundamental rights are at stake here?
Your Honor, this law infringes upon the fundamental rights of individuals to acquire knowledge. The right of parents to control their children's education is deeply rooted in the American tradition, allowing the state to decide what can and cannot be taught, which is an overreach of government power. If the state can prohibit foreign language instruction today, what will stop it from banning other instructions in the future? What will prevent the government from deciding which ideas are acceptable for students to learn? Additionally, learning foreign languages is essential for intellectual growth and global understanding. Many families and communities in this nation come from diverse backgrounds, and preventing their children from learning their ancestral languages is an infringement on their cultural heritage. Education should be a matter of personal choice, not government control.
Mr. Mayer, would you say that this law unfairly targets certain ethnic communities?
Absolutely, Your Honor. This law disproportionately affects German American communities and the other immigrant families who wish to preserve their language and culture. It effectively discriminates against non-English speakers by preventing them from educating their children in their native tongues. This kind of law does not promote unity. It fosters division and resentment.
Representative of Nebraska, how do you respond to these concerns about individual liberties and cultural discrimination?
Your Honor, we do not intend to target any particular ethnic group. Our sole purpose is to create a common national identity through language. We believe by ensuring all children speak English fluently from a young age, we are strengthening our nation. This law was passed with the belief that it serves the greater good, not to oppress any specific group.
Yet the Constitution exists to protect individuals from government overreach. The question before us is whether this law serves a legitimate state interest or whether it violates constitutional freedoms. The court will now deliberate.
After careful consideration, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Robert Mayer. In a landmark decision, the court struck down the Nebraska law, stating that it violated the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. The decision reinforced the principle that the government cannot arbitrarily interfere with personal liberties, including the right to teach and learn languages of one's choosing. Chief Justice McReynolds, delivering the opinion of the court, wrote, "The protection of the Constitution extends to those who speak other languages as well as those born with English as their mother tongue." The ruling emphasized that education and knowledge are fundamental rights and that government interference must be justified by a clear and compelling state interest. This case set a precedent for the protection of individual rights and paved the way for future rulings on educational freedom. It remains a cornerstone in constitutional law to this day, reinforcing that personal liberties cannot be sacrificed in the name of nationalism or political convenience.